ocean is a mysterious world. Humans know more about the surface of Mars than the floor of the ocean. And the sea creatures who live there, well, even the ones you have imagined, you've imagined them wrong.
Hey everyone, Rascal here.
And Mama, welcome to our channel, Paws On Animation.
Today we're covering the DreamWorks movie Ruby Gillman Teenage Kraken.
This family movie features the Gillmans, who are from Canada, and live a normal life in America. And that is until their teenage daughter, Ruby, discovers that she's really from a family of Krakens who's being misrepresented in history. And this is the movie that Rascal has wanted to see since she first heard about it.
Yes. And before we start, be sure to like, subscribe, click the videos on future podcasts and we'll pause videos.
Absolutely. We're so happy to be doing this finally.
Yes.
And after watching the movie, we can say that the reviews and the hate, there's no other way to put it,
right,
were not duly deserved for this movie.
No, it weren't. It wasn't. And we've been on both ends of the line where we have a film that people really love but we didn't like, and movies that we like but other people didn't. So we know it feels to be in both categories. And in this one, we were in the former. This one really didn't deserve the hate. It's not like it was other movies from like Disney or something that gets it. Here it was just like it should have been represented a little better. First of all, it should have been on streaming instead of in the theater, because it really tanked the box office because it was being put on a pedestal or compared to the Bad Guys and Puss in Boots: The Last Wish. They wanted this movie to be in the same ranks as that, and when they didn't do that, they just didn't care anymore.
And quickly, it was produced with a $70 million budget, and in the box office it generated $46.2 million in earnings, and it was 91 minutes. Now, what the odd thing is, it's distributed by Universal, even though it was a DreamWorks movie.
Right, so I guess they still have the contract with them for a little longer. And with this, and we know that it was supposed to be a whole different movie, and I think it was just meant to be something really fun. It was just a fun, simple family film. Yeah, it goes through quite a few of the cliches and tropes, but it still managed to be a likable movie. And because it didn't go into deep characterization and reality and the concept of death and stuff like The Last Wish, or who's really a good guy and a bad guy like The Bad Guys, because it didn't get so deep like that and people want to just constantly say that from DreamWorks, I think that's why a lot of people just kind of tossed to the wayside. They wanted to see more fleshed out things, and this wasn't really meant to be like that. It was just meant to be something simple and fun before you get to your next movie.
Now, even though it failed, they did not put it on DVD for a while.
Yeah, they
and even to stream it, they wanted full price, like $20, which that wasn't happening.
Right.
So Rascal ended up getting this as one of her Christmas gifts.
Yes.
And the DVD itself has some great bonus features, including deleted scenes, Super Sea Girl besties, Make Your Own Aquarium, and a whole lot more.
Yes.
This is one of the, I would say, the most recent DVDs that has the best offer of special features.
Yes.
Additional features available.
Right.
So those of you who don't know what Ruby Gillman is about, I read the case. Okay. Dive into the turbulent waters of high school with this heartwarming action comedy about a shy teenager who discovers that she's part of a legendary royal lineage of mythical sea krakens, and that her destiny in the depths of the oceans is bigger than she ever dreamed.
Sounds a little familiar.
Learning to be an all-powerful sea creature while hiding among humans is hard enough for Ruby, but to make matters worse, her super popular new bestie, Chelsea, is secretly a mermaid. Mermaids have been battling the Krakens for eons to rule the ocean and are evil in here.
Right.
So Chelsea has come to land to finally put an end to that conflict. However, when Chelsea double-crosses her, Ruby will ultimately need to embrace who she is and go big to protect those she loves most.
Okay, so it kind of tells you a lot, doesn't it?
And here's the problem. They explain it in detail in the case, but the trailer doesn't give you the idea that this is what the movie's actually about.
Right, it's something else altogether. That's why we said it was a little misrepresented in what the film is. All you knew was a good summer movie, and that's really it. And when I heard the concept when they had the trailer, it's been reversed. The Krakens are actually good. The mermaids are like sirens and they're evil, which was like, okay, they haven't really done that because usually Kraken's always bad. Kraken's always bad. They still have evil mermaids, but they never had a good Kraken at least until they have Monster High.
Yeah.
And then you actually get to the movie, you see Chelsea. What's hilarious is that it's sort of like a jab at Disney because she looks like Ariel on land, and it's hilarious.
So this movie got some positive, well, mixed to positive reviews from critics, and they praised the voice acting, animation, and characters, but they criticized the plot and felt like it had failed to live up to its potential. Now, on some instances, we can agree. One problem with the movie itself is it borrowed heavily from other franchises, other movies, and even series.
Yeah.
And it was easy to pinpoint exactly where the character or the scene or the idea had come from.
Right.
And that definitely hurt it.
Yeah. And the biggest thing it kind of borrowed from, well, two biggest things would be Monster High with the aforementioned Good Kraken, and the second would be Turning Red from Pixar.
Definitely.
And we know that movie had a really sort of mixed reaction. Some loved it, some hated it. You decide. And for here, it's almost the exact same plot line as Turning Red. The only difference is she had to fight her mom or her grandma in a rage, and they all turned to red pandas and all that. That's the only part I think was really different about
here, they all turned to Krakens.
Yeah.
It was the same thing. Instead of turning red pandas, they turned to blue Krakens.
Yeah, and they fought an actual villain and not another family member. And, oh, it's the generational thing and all that.
Much too similar. It just obviously took from...
You could just say turning purple, I guess.
Turning blue.
Yeah, turning blue, turning purple, yeah, anything but turning red. And what's even funnier is that one of the few things they did do differently is when they get to the reveal of her being a Kraken, and they say they're from Canada, right? And pretty much that's the explanation for them looking blue, doing weird things. They say, oh, they're from Canada. Oh, that makes sense.
And I keep saying that because every time they say, I'm from Canada. I'm Canadian.
And it's like, oh, okay, that makes sense. And they go about their business. For some reason, this works. They don't question it. But then it gets to a point in the movie where the mom tells her about being a Kraken and from the sea and everything. And then Ruby at one point says, wait, you're telling me we're not from Canada?
But that didn't happen until she ended up in the water.
Right.
And she turned to a Kraken in the water. She was freaking out. She got gigantic. And she got out. She was trying to run and hide, but she's big as King Kong, so that wasn't going to happen. The mom saw her on TV and panicked, like turning red.
Yeah.
And then she went to calm her down, like turning red, which made her go back to her small stature.
Yeah.
Like turning red.
Yeah, it's beat for beat for that.
But there were some funny things that happened while she was large like that.
Right, like you said, trying to hide.
Right, and that's when she learned the truth. And she's like, why have you not told me the truth all the years? Why did you lie to me?
Right, and that, of course, like you said, turning red.
And what was hilarious, like Rascal said, is she thought they were really Canadian. And it's like, you are blue, you have pads on your hands, you have pointed ears, blue hair that's not tinted or colored, and you really believe that your family is from Canada.
Yes, that's the funniest part. She said, we're not from Canada? Like, I thought the whole time she was in on the lie like the rest of them and didn't know about the Kraken part. That to me was probably the funniest and different thing they did with that. She did believe she was Canadian. And I was like, okay, that's actually hilarious. We're like, what Canadians do you think look like this?
So she wants to fit in.
Right.
But she's very intelligent, and she actually tutors for math.
Yes.
And so she falls for one of the guys she's tutoring, and you find out he's falling for her as well.
You're right.
He's got this big hair. You see him in the picture.
Right.
And he's really like surfer dude.
Right.
Attitude or mentality.
Right.
But he's a nice guy.
And he's not someone they wrote as a dumb guy character. Right. He actually knows about algebra and algorithms and everything like that too. It was like, oh, that's actually different. He wasn't stupid.
She's tutoring him, so did he really need the tutoring?
Yeah.
He just want to be around her. Because it's like, you're figuring this out. Why do you need her helping you?
Yeah, you're not stupid.
So I think he just wanted to be around her.
You get the interview.
Like Bella the Bone. But it really is a delightful movie. And I agree 1,000,000,000%. This should have been on a streaming service. It should have been on Netflix.
Yeah.
It should have never gone to theaters. And I think it would have done fantastically as a streaming movie.
Yeah.
Because as Rascal said, it was not meant to be something huge
Yeah.
or deep or layered or philosophical or anything. It really was a movie about, it was a fun movie. It was a movie about someone wanting to fit in,
You're right.
trying to
A
find
more
their
of a
place,
standard, yeah.
and their place is someplace they never imagined, and then accepting what they're being told is going to ultimately be their destiny, but in the meantime, following their own path
Right.
before they accept the destiny that ultimately she's going to have
Right.
to accept.
And surprisingly, which I think was another jab at Disney, there were no song numbers in here.
No.
And by musical numbers, I mean they break out in the song, sing all being a cracker or something. None of that happened. Not even the one supposed to be the parody of Little Mermaid did a song. They just kind of made, oh, I'm just pretty and misunderstood. I'm not bad. It's like, yeah, we get what you're saying. And they were kind of poking fun at all those twist villains Disney keeps having.
And now, speaking of that, this is a big spoiler. So if you never intend on seeing the movie, or if you do, spoilers coming now. They borrowed from Sky High. And before they even told it, I said, she's the villain, and she's older, she's the mom age, and she's pretending to be a teen. And then it wasn't 15 minutes later,
Right.
you find out she was older, she was the mom's age, pretending
Yeah.
to be a teen. She made friends with her so they could steal the trident
Yes.
that helps to do something. Do you
Yeah, I guess gives
remember?
them power, yes.
So they took that directly from Sky High. I mean, there was no way not to see this was directly taken from Sky High.
Yeah.
And again, that was one part of the movie that was a problem. There was too many borrowed elements.
Right. And rather than just being inspired by that
Right.
and making their own thing from it, they're just kind of taking those scenes and bits from there and making the movie.
Absolutely.
Now, when it got to the final part of the movie, I'd say like maybe the last 30 to 40 minutes, that was probably the best part of it. Not because the rest of
Yes.
it was boring, but because they at least delivered on the Kraken battle, the action, hero, the good guy winning. They at least delivered on that. And the grandmama wasn't a villain or a jerk like they usually have, where the oldest one tends to be the most condescending.
Although the mom painted her that way,
Yeah.
we found out that wasn't it.
Yeah.
Just like in Turning Red, she had her own issues with her mom when she was a kid,
Right.
and she was projecting them onto Ruby.
Right. So
So-
I do like that was different too.
So let's talk about the voice cast that was praised, and they did have a great voice cast. Some people we're familiar with, some we aren't. Lana Condor was Ruby Gillman. Toni Collette, who I love, is the mom Agatha. Annie Murphy is Queen Nerissa, the evil queen of the mermaids, who we've already told you the plot twist.
Right.
Coleman Domingo is Arthur Gillman, her dad, and you really like her dad. And
Yeah.
he wasn't an idiot. either.
Right.
Blue Chapman as Sam Gillman is and her brother. Jane Fonda as Grandmama.
Yes.
And that was a brilliant appearance that she made.
Yes.
Sam Richardson is Brill. Will Forte is Captain Gordon Lighthouse. And he did great.
I guess there really is Lighthouse. Oh gosh.
And they had some other characters that were voiced by many people. If you get the DVD, whether you rent it or buy it, they will show you these people and the characters they voiced in a fun segment that's part of the special features.
Right.
You should watch all the special features because they really are great. And that's one thing we've mentioned that we missed before, is having excellent special features as a part of a DVD you buy. For example, Blue Beetle, even with the Blu-ray, you don't get special features, so why are
Right.
you paying that exorbitant price?
Right. So at least this had the courtesy to put some on here and on a regular DVD.
Definitely. So if you have not seen, well, first, if you've seen Ruby Gillman, Teenage Kraken, let us know what you think in the comments below. Did you love it? Did you hate it? Did you think it was meh? Let us know what you think. I would give it an A-. I think it was fun and it delivered on what it promised, and especially the last 40 minutes, you got a fantastic movie. If you haven't seen Ruby Gillman, we both recommend you absolutely should watch it. Don't listen to the hate and the really bad reviews, because this movie is a fun jaunt into what makes DreamWorks DreamWorks.
Yeah.
And all their movies aren't like The Bad Guys, and they all aren't like
Puss in Boots: The Last Wish.
Some of them are meant to be fun. If you go into their catalog of past movies, you'll find several movies that are like this, that are favorites. And if you watch this, this will become one. of your fun favorites as well.
Yes, absolutely. And if y'all know already, subscribe for updates and weekly videos for your anime series, anime shows, and all things animation.
Absolutely. If you have any recommendations for us to cover or review, let us know in the comments below. We really appreciate you so much. You are awesome. Thank you for subscribing and for joining us each week.
Yes. So, thank you so much for watching. I'm Brask Entertainment.
And I'm Mom Entertainment.
Have a fantastic day.
Peace.